for economics. Your chapter is going on, that is on 62 page, understanding economic development. And then now the chapter is going regarding globalization. The topic we will discuss is that is globalization. So what is globalization here? Globalization basically that is a process, that is not a one time activity. It is a complete process which the intention was to integrate and interconnect between the countries. So globalization basically here consider the movement of goods, services, investments, resources, technology among the countries. So if there is a movement, then that means there is a globalization. But during this time of COVID-19, definitely globalization is not preferable by the countries, because now the movement of people is not you can say is not acceptable by many countries. They don't want that people from other countries come to their country during this particular time. So globalization, nobody just have this idea that they will do such sort of behavior regarding globalization in this global disease. So globalization basically in which one country can move their people, their resources, their technology, and also take it from the other countries. So that is the globalization basically. Now the result of greater foreign investment and greater foreign trade has been greater integration of production and market across countries. So there are the two things. Foreign investment means money invested by foreign countries into domestic economy, that is known as a foreign investment. Now greater foreign trade here means import export trade. Import, export and interport, they are included in the foreign trade. Import is clearly that when suppose India is importing goods, India is importing goods from Japan. So goods are coming from Japan to India, that is the import, and India will make the payment for these goods. And now export, India is exporting goods to Japan. Now the goods will the movement of goods from India to Japan, and Japan will make the payment to India in this case. Now the next case is interport, that is also a case of foreign trade. In this what happens that as you see that regarding goods, when goods are imported from other country and then for the purpose of export to other country, so goods are imported from Japan to get it exported to suppose Saudi Arabia. So this is the interport. So all these foreign trade of goods and services also. Services means services are provided by people of one country to another country while going over there. So that is a foreign trade. Has been greater integration of production and market across countries. Definitely integration means connecting. So they are connecting the production and market of different countries. So globalization is the process of rapid integration interconnection between the countries. Multinational corporations are playing a major role in the globalization process. What is multinational corporation? How they play the major role in the globalization process? So multinational organization basically here is multi means they are having branches in the multi means many countries. So they are the multinational companies. And I just told you earlier also that head office in one country and there is branches in the other countries, many countries. More and more goods and services, investment and technology are moving between countries. So this is called as globalization process. Most regions of the world are in closer contact with each other, definitely. Then a few decades back, definitely they are very closer to each other. Many countries they are getting very closer to each other, like you can say European countries getting closer to USA, and Japan is getting closer to USA. India is getting closer to USA. As you see that there is many international organization. The main motive of the international organization to get connected all these countries like BRICS, SAARC, and then G20. All these organizations are there. International organizations are there which used to. ASEAN is also an international organization. The main purpose was to integrate the whole countries of the world, or countries of the particular region. So this is the basic purpose of this international organization. Now besides the movement of goods and services, investment and technology, there is one more way in which the countries can connect it. So it's not about the movement of goods and services through foreign trade. There is an investment, there is a technology, which is the movement of these basically most required by the country, because it takes too much time and money wasted also in case of lots of research and development in the country. So many times technology has been purchased by the other country, which has made it. Likewise, all the countries are in the work of making vaccination for this global disease, and now whosoever will make first, and that will be purchased by the other country. So instead of doing so much effort and money, country used to purchase the goods from the another country. Likewise, defense equipment has been purchased by the India many times. Now this is through the movement of people between countries. Now people usually move from one country to another country in search of better income, likewise better jobs or better education. So likewise, many people of other countries, they used to come to India and for better education, and then many people of India, they used to go to USA, UK, Australia, Canada. All these developed countries, they want to go in search of better income and better job opportunities and better education. Now in the past few decades, however, there has not been much increase in the movement of people between the countries due to various restrictions, because now all the countries are getting overpopulated. Like earlier, the visa has been given to the people because they want to increase the population. There was one time when many developed nations, they want to increase the population of their country, so they are welcoming. They used to welcome the people, but nowadays, what happens that visa has to be given to the restricted people. They are not given to the all. So it's difficult to get the visa of the many countries like Australia, like you can say USA, Canada. All these countries are giving visa with some restrictions nowadays. Now there is a definitely improvement in transportation also. That is a pick over there, which is saying that there is a great movement. We have seen a great improvement in transportation. Definitely there is a bullock cart now. The tractors are in use, and ships, aeroplanes, and they have been used for transporting the goods, and trains, they are to be goods train. They are basically used for transporting the goods from one place to another. Lorries are there to transporting goods from one place to another place. Now, factors that have enabled globalization. Which factors are enabling they are make easy the globalization? So in this paragraph, basically the question is, what is globalization for you, and how multinational corporation play a major role in the globalization process, because multinational corporation used to make movement possible for technology investment, because multinational corporation having their branches in India or in some other country, and then it is quite easily possible to get the technology from the country who is having the head office in the developed nation. Now why people move from one country to another country to get the better opportunities? That's it. And now, factors that have enabled globalization. Which are factors which are basically responsible for globalization, which is the reason for globalization? That is the technology, first of all. Now, first of all, we will go. I will just go through this example. That is containers are there in this particular pic, and then this is regarding containers for transport of goods. What happens that goods are placed in containers that can be loaded intact into ships, railways, planes, and trucks. Containers have led to huge reduction in the port handling cost and increase the speed with which export can reach the market. Similarly, the cost of air transport has fallen. This has enabled much greater volume of goods being transported by airlines. So when these containers are being used for packing up the goods, so that they can be easily exported from one country to another country. So this is the role of transportation of goods, and this is the role of container in this. Now, rapid improvement in the technology has been one major factor that has stimulated the globalization process. So for instance, the past 50 years have seen several improvement in transportation technology, definitely, and this has made such a faster delivery of goods across long distances possible at lower cost. Now this is a technology which make cheapest the cost for transporting the goods from one place to another place. So if you want to purchase that technology, then definitely you need the globalization for that. Now even more remarkable have been the development in the information and communication technology. In the recent times, technology in the areas of telecommunication, computer, internet has been changing rapidly. Definitely internet is a very big change in the technology. You can say a very big improvement in the technology which has been using by all in this during this time of corona. that internet technology has been used by all the people, and they are doing their work, daily activities due to this, without going outside. Likewise, you are doing you're taking your classes because internet is there. Now telecommunication facilities, telegraph, telephone including mobile phone, fax are used to contact one another around the world, to access information instantly and to communicate from remote area. This has been facilitated by satellite communication devices. As you would be aware, computer have now entered almost every field of activity. So as you know that computer is a very important, so one should be like literacy, and there is a computer literacy. So in every type of economic activity, definitely the knowledge of computer is very important. Whether you are a doctor, CA, lawyer, or you are indulging in any of the profession, definitely the knowledge of computer is must for you. And as a teacher also, the knowledge of computer, without the knowledge of computer, the activities, the things cannot be done easily, and definitely they cannot be done ever, because now things are accepted in the form of document or through the computer. So computer have now entered almost all the field of activity. You might have also ventured into amazing world of internet also, that you are definitely indulging now, because you are doing everything on internet. You are studying on internet, you are talking, you are connecting with your family members many of time with the internet, and where you can obtain and share information on almost anything you want to know. Internet also allows us to send instant electronic mail, that is email, and talk, that is voicemail, across the world at negligible cost. So this is the you can say very big improvement, a very big technology which everybody is using, appreciated by all during this time. Otherwise, this technology has been criticized many times, that don't use computer, don't use mobiles, they can harm your eyes, they can harm your brain or nerve cells. But nowadays this is very important during this time. This is the only solution for getting things done. But now, where is the electricity? There is a person and this is a computer, but electricity is not there, so that he is getting trouble with that electricity is not there. So definitely, if you want to use internet or you want to use computer, definitely you need electricity and internet connection through satellite. That should be there with proper speed. Now there is another pick, that is information and communication technology, for IT in short, has played a major role in spreading out production of services across countries. Let us see how. So now they are talking about the production of services and movement of services from one country to another. How? Using IT in globalization. A news magazine published for London reader is to be designed and printed in Delhi. So this is one country, India. Now the text of magazine is sent through internet to Delhi office. The designer in the Delhi office get order on how to design the magazine from the office in London. So there is another country. Using telecommunication facilities, the designer is done on a computer, and after printing, the magazine are sent by air to London. Even the payment of money for designing and printing from the bank in London to bank in Delhi is done instantly through the internet. So as you see that there is a printing of magazine and editing of the matter, collection of matter, that is done with the India and England. So there is a basically this is just possible only with the use of technology. So the example can be asked in the question, that how technology can be useful in the case of globalization or in the case of movement of production of services. So there you will give the example likewise. Fine. Now there is another thing, that there is a conversation between the two people. Now she is saying that it looks like a very nice magazine, but why is not my textbook printed like this? I can hardly read the words in my book. So this is regarding that. She is complaining regarding the matter or regarding the book. Now, no my child, this printing press is not for ordinary Indians. So this is another problem, that definitely the things or goods and services are being produced in the country, but they are not available for the common people, they are not available for the poor people in the country. This is also the problem over there. So when they are telling about the good things about the achievement of or the use of the technology, simultaneously they are in your book, the problem has been the problem which can be arise in your country due to that technology, due to coming of that technology, that is also discussed over there. So this magazine, which is having a very beautiful cover, very beautiful matter, and with a very nice letter, but that the letters they are not there for the use of poor people. As she is complaining that my book is, why not my book is like that magazine. Now now he has been answered that because that particular magazine is not for poor people like ordinary Indians, common people. So this is the complaint. Now the question arises that over there, how technology plays a very important role in the globalization process. Fine. And what are the problems in India regarding that using of that technology? That definitely the technology needs more improvement, speed and electricity, definitely in the case of computer also. And in the case of poor people, ordinary people, definitely they must have some good distribution of income, equitable distribution of income in the country, so that they could purchase all these things which have been producing in the country. They should not, the goods have been producing in the country with the latest technology, with a very good material, with all the very goodness. That should not be only for the use of foreign countries, that should be used in the for common people also. It should have the reasonable price. Definitely there is a negligible cost over there, or very least cost over there, due to the upgradation of technology, but even then it is out of the reach for the poor people in India. Now the next page, that is 64 page, the same chapter, liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy. Now let us return to the example of import of Chinese toys in India. Suppose the Indian government puts a tax on import of toys, what would happen? Definitely the goods, that particular toys become costly due to the imposition of tax. That is the indirect tax basically that has been put up by the government on the toys. Those who wish to import these toys would have to pay tax on this, because on the tax, buyer will have to pay a higher price for the imported toys, and Chinese toys will no longer be cheap in the Indian market, and import from China will automatically reduce, and Indian toys maker will prosper. But the irony is that China is making the product with very bad quality, with very cheap quality. Definitely the tax has been imposed on those product. They made the things more you can say dearer or more costly for the people. But even then, while comparing the all those goods with the production, with the domestic goods that has been produced in your own country in India, definitely the imported goods are cheaper than those goods which have been producing in the country, due to the low technology using due to the you can say that higher cost has been over there. They don't know how to use the technology, they don't know upgradation of technology, and technology many times they have to purchase the technology. If the technology has been researched or you can say invented in your own country, definitely then the cost will be cheaper. But everything, all the capital goods, every technology has to be purchased from the foreign country, that will make the goods more costly. So although the tax has been imposed and all the all the efforts have been made by the government to make the Chinese goods more costly, even then the Chinese goods are not that much costly compared to Indian product in many cases. Now the tax on import is an example of trade barrier. So what is trade barrier? Trade barrier means this is the restriction, you can say, that has been set up by the government to decrease the foreign trade, to decrease the import from foreign countries. So tax on the import is an example of trade barrier. It is called a barrier because some restriction has been set up. Government can use trade barrier to increase or decrease foreign trade and to decide what kind of goods and how much of each should come into the country. So that is a trade barrier. If definitely if the Indian government doesn't want to have that product or doesn't want to import that product in the country, and they want to stop the import of particular product into your own country, definitely they will increase the tax. That is a trade barrier. Now in the Indian government after independence had put barriers to foreign trade and foreign investment. This was considered necessary to protect the producer within the country from foreign competition. Industries were just coming up in 1950s and 60s, and competition from import at that stage would not have allowed these industries to come up. So in 1950-1960, foreign companies are stopped. They have been restricted to import, to send their goods to India. So thus India allowed import of only essential items such as machinery, fertilizers and petroleum, etc. Note that all developed countries during this early stage of development have given protection to domestic producers through a variety of means. So various means has been taken by the government of the developed countries so that the import can be stopped and more export has been initiated by the all these countries. Now starting around 1991, some far-reaching changes in policy were made in India. The government decided that the time had come for Indian producer to compete with the producer around the globe. So in 1950s and 1960s, domestic company have been protected. Indian domestic company have been protected because lots of restrictions were there on the import of goods from the foreign countries, and foreign trade has been restricted in the country. But in 1991, the globalization has been adopted as the new industrial policy. It is a very important part of new industrial policy. Everybody knows that globalization, why 1991 policy has been adopted, new industrial policy has been adopted, just because Indian government was not capable to the Indian government was not capable to pay off the import duty even of the 15 days, next 15 days. So that was the problem with India. So that is why, due to the force of World Bank, they adopted this new industrial policy in 1991. Now starting around 1991, some far-reaching changes in policy were made in India. The government decided that time had come for Indian producer to compete with this producer around the globe. It felt that in 1991 there was a problem also. There was a public sector, and many public sector enterprises have been failed by that time. So there was a unemployment by that time. So for solving all the problem, the government adopted 1991 new industrial policy and they have given the consent. By that time they had just given the consent to the World Bank to follow the new industrial policy with the main peculiar feature, that is privatization, globalization and liberalization. So globalization is one of that main part of that industrial policy. Now time had come for Indian producer to compete with the producer around the globe. It felt that competition would improve the performance of producer within the country, since they would have to improve their quality. This decision was supported by a powerful international organization because they just wanted it. They just by that time they wanted to enter the country. They just wanted foreign trade from India because they want to use the resources of the country. So definitely there was support from the international organization. International organization definitely gave money to the country because to settle the economy by that time, because the economy was so suffering by that time in 1990s due to the failure of public sector enterprises or many other reason. Now thus barrier on foreign trade and foreign investment were removed to the large extent in this policy, and this means that goods could be imported and exported easily, and also foreign companies could set up factories and offices over here. That is, when the foreign companies, they could set up their factory and offices over there, that is foreign investment. And when the movement of goods and services, quite possible, that is a foreign trade is promoted over there. Now removing barriers on restrictions set by the government is what is known as the liberalization. Liberalization is one of the main point of the new industrial policy. The barriers have been removed on the restrictions set by the government for many industries, because public sector was free before 1991. Only private sector has to suffer many restrictions, but now the restriction has been removed from the private sector also, so that they could progress, they could do their progress, they can expand, they can open more branches and go for multinational corporation. Even with liberalization of trade, business are allowed to make decisions freely about what they wish to import, export, and how they want to expand. If they want to produce more, they can. Earlier it was not that. If they want to increase the production, they have to take permission from the government before 1991. So liberalization has been introduced in the country. The government imposes much less restriction than before, as therefore set to more liberal. So many industrial revolution has been introduced many times. Industrial policy have been revised. This 1991 policy has been revised. More restriction, more freedom has been given to the private sector to promote their industry in the country, because it is a well-known fact that where the production is there, definitely the employment will be there, and the problem of economy, many problems of the economy can be sorted out. Now next thing is, that is on the page number 65 in your economics book. We have seen that is World Trade Organization. We have seen that the liberalization of foreign trade and investment in India was supported by some very powerful international organization, and these organizations say that all barriers to foreign trade and investment are harmful. Definitely for foreign trade they are harmful, and there should be no barriers. Trade between countries should be free. All countries in the world should liberalize their policies. That is the main intention of international organization, because international organization belongs to the developed nation, and they were very powerful, and definitely they want to use the The intention was not only to develop the underdeveloped nation or developing nation, the intention was to use the resources or take out the resources for their own use also. And in return of that, the developing country definitely getting the benefit of having technology in their country, money in their country, employment in their country, which they were not capable to provide in their own country. Now, World Trade Organization is one such organization which aims to liberalize international trade, started at the initiative of the developed countries. Definitely, WTO, World Trade Organization, establishes rules regarding international trade and see that these rules are obeyed. At present, 164 countries of the world are currently member of the WTO. So you can write this because that is given on your NCERT one. Though WTO is supposed to allow free trade for all, in practice it is seen that developed countries have unfairly retained trade barriers. On the other hand, WTO rules have forced the developing countries to remove the trade barriers. An example of this current debate on the trade in agriculture product. So definitely the force has been for removing the barriers on developing countries, all the countries to remove the barriers. If you are the part of this international organization or having this agreement with this international organization which is helping to these countries, providing money and all resources to these countries, and what they want in return, remove all the barriers and make a free world for trade for all the countries. So the question here, many questions are there, like what is trade barrier, and then what do you mean by liberalization? This is a 1 mark question over there. And what is the opinion or what is the status of the Indian government in 1950s, 60s or 1991? What are the major changes? What are the major changes introduced in 1950, 1960 and 1991? Or another question you can make that what are the industrial policies that has been introduced for a particular purpose or promoting the trade in the countries in 1991? What are the peculiar features of 1991 industrial policy? That question can also come here. This is a question which can arise. Now here the question is explain the brief note on the or give the brief note on the World Trade Organization and explain the activities which has been undertaken by World Trade Organization. What is the purpose of World Trade Organization? All these has been written over there which you have to follow. Now debate on trade practices over there, that is you have seen in chapter 2 that the agriculture sector provide the bulk of employment and a significant portion of the GDP in India. Definitely compare this to a developed country such as the US with the share of agriculture in GDP at 1% and its share in total employment a tiny 0.5%. But in India the contribution to GDP that is quite less, but the employment they are providing that is quite more, that is in India. And yet this is very small percentage of people who are engaged in agriculture in US receive a massive sum of money from the US government for production and export to other countries. So definitely they are complaining in this debate that basically USA government, they are providing all the incentive, all money, everything to their farmers, and which makes their crops cheaper in compared to the crops of other country. And the farmer in the USA, they could easily sell out their crops at the cheapest price to other countries. Now the US government for production and for export to other countries, due to this massive money that they receive, US farmers can sell the farm product at abnormally low price, and the surplus from farm product are sold in other countries market at low price, adversely affecting farmers in these countries. That has been saying regarding USA that in USA definitely lots of wheat, lots of food product that has been spoiled because because the population is not enough to consume all the agro product. So definitely the USA farmers have been helped by the government, and then they are selling their product at very low prices and getting all the help from the government. This is the case that in in the developing nation like India or underdeveloped nation, the farmers are very poor. They are not getting such a help from the government, and government is also not capable sufficient to provide such a great help as the USA is providing to their farmers. So it is very difficult for the farmers of underdeveloping countries or developing countries to compete with the farmers of USA. So developing countries are therefore asking the developed countries government, we have reduced trade barriers as per the WTO rules. Definitely India reduced the trade barriers, and you have ignored the rule of WTO and have continued to pay your farmers vast sum of money. So why you are helping these farmers? They are complaining USA that why are you helping your farmers to a very large extent, and they are providing all the agro product a very abnormally low price, which is not quite possible for the farmers of the developing nation like India to compete, or underdeveloped nation, the farmers of underdeveloped nation, they are not capable to compete with these farmers. You have asked your government to stop supporting your farmers, and but you are doing so yourself. Is this free and fair trade? So this is the complaint by the underdeveloped nation or developing nation to the developed nation. So a typical cotton farm in USA consists of thousands of acres owned by a huge corporation that will sell cotton abnormally at lower prices. So this is the case, this is the debate on trade practices. So here there is a complaint that definitely WTO is for the free trade, fair trade, but when you're talking about the developed nation, so many developed nation, they are unnecessarily getting the benefit because they are involving in this directly involving in this water organization. They are making the rules, so they are not following the rules themselves. This is the complaint for them over there.